back, and she loved the news. She goes, "It's been the best birthday ever." What's that?
We're live. Just
that's okay. It's just,
are we live?
Who cares?
We'll have to tell the story.
I gotta finish this story, man.
Oh no.
No.
That's definitely an off the air story.
that was my friendly little like, yo, Steve, look in the corner.
No, I was kind of going with it. I figured, what the hell. Oh, our adoring public must be used to us by now, I would imagine,
Well, I'll give up my seat so that Anne can get in.
Oh, it's no biggie at the moment. We'll get her in a bit.
Okay.
We'll be rolling for a while here. So, all right, folks, hello, welcome back to This Week in Search, which, well, is going to be rather odd today, so don't expect too much from us because we're going to be all over the place. Okay, let's get the intros done with and out of the way. Mr. Ammon John, sir, introduce yourself and tell us what you've been up
to. Well, I'm Ammon Johnson. Like most people in this hangout, I'm younger than Dave. That's it.
Might I say barely, so your time will be coming soon this year, and you'll be back, up with me.
I'm years off my 62nd birthday.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's hope you look this good at 67. All right, Mr. Bill Slosky.
I'm Bill Slosky. I'm the Director of SEO Research for Go Fish Digital, and I'm the writer at SEO by the Sea. I've been working on site audits this week, and I've got a couple of blog posts, 3/4 of the way done. One is on search ontologies and how Google might generate those automatically from query streams.
Well, I don't know if you'll ever be able to use the word director without some of us giggling from now on. Hello, Ann, if you're out there. Thank you for that. Blair, you're up next, brother.
Well, I've been currently growing my SEO agency at quite a fast rate, and I'm going to see if I can close a 50,000 client this week or not.
Good luck. Good luck. Yeah.
Thanks.
Those are always nice to have, but again, make sure it's not all your eggs in one basket. You got some backup because if those.
No, I've got some backup, but it's quite a good one if I can get it.
Mr. Doc, I'm freezing cold, Sheldon. What is it today? 70?
Speaking of about old farts, happy birthday, Dave.
Yes, my old fart friend.
Doc Sheldon, Intrinsic Value SEO and Search News Central, and I'm the guy that you hold up a picture of pointing at kids as a bad example.
Yeah, well, did you bring, you got refreshments here? You brought the refreshments, did you, sir?
I did not get to go, no, so I'm boat dry, man.
Wow, that's painful.
I'm telling you.
That must be Kevin.
Kevin Dory, dealer on. Happy birthday, Dave. You're not, oh, there we go. You're not as old as you think you are. Yeah, I haven't really been doing much except playing catch up this week after being out last week.
Nice. Okay, Steve, number one, Canadian Steve A.
Steve Bonin, Harris Web Creative. I saw that Bill had his lower third on, so I thought I'd put my lower third on.
Oh, they're working this week. Awesome.
It's working this week, yeah. So I don't know what I've been doing this week. I've been having an easy week because all my clients are on holidays. So yesterday with Thomas, he was talking about SVG and animating SVGs.
Yes, flashing SVGs, no less. Yes.
Yes, so that's what I've been playing with this morning.
Really? Okay. Well, it's nice to see how productive the SEO Dojo Skype chat makes everybody. I'm happy to see that. Mr. Steve Guerin, sir.
Good afternoon, morning, whatever. Steve Grenzer, Steam Driven Media. This week, they're actually adding a few new clients, which has been kind of nice. Got a bunch of contractors and construction work going on the farm again. It's that time of year, and none of them have websites, and they all need websites. So we'll get them built on some websites, get their local stuff sorted out, and get them going. The one guy complained he's been in business for 25 years, and some new guy put up a website and is already ranking #1. It's like, well, that's because your website's a Wix website without its own domain name, and it was free.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've never seen such horrible URLs.
Oh yeah, I know all about it. Mr. Van Horn, sir.
Hey, happy birthday, Dave.
That's a good point.
Well, is this what it's going to look like in 10 years? Thanks, Terry. He forgot where he works and what he does. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, I'm still working at International Website Builders and SEO Pros and the Dojo. I make almost enough to live by having 5 jobs, so no Jamaican can beat me. There.
How's it going there, Wissam?
Hello, how you doing?
Say hello to everyone. Tell them what you do, where you're from, and what you've been up to.
From Florida, Daytona, co-founder of GrowthGate, and that's about it.
Nice, short and sweet.
Happy birthday to
Thank you. And Kelly, welcome to the group. Tell us who you are, where you work, and who your favorite porn director is. No? No Mike again this week? She's just lurking. That's it. All right, well, I'll fill in for her. Her favorite porn director's name is Erica Lust. There you go, folks. I guess I should have asked everyone who your favorite porn director was. Oh, God. Well, yes, folks, for those of you who have never had the joy of wandering into the SEO Dojo Skype chat room, these are some of the important things we deal with on a day-to-day basis.
I noticed that Wissam is in witness protection there.
Well, he's not doing a very good job of it, is he?
No.
What do they do?
Yeah.
You obviously don't shoot a lot of video, do you? You know, it's called front light, back light.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. He's got to keep his face blacked out. Be happy it's not all pixelated and shit, you know? That's the way it should be looking.
That's all they can come up with because he's in Boca and you guys are freezing.
Yeah. Well, that's all. We got to do something to get even here, man. So I don't know. Anyone have anything interesting going on this week? I've really been out of the trenches and sort of just avoiding everything. I don't know.
Well, I can say one word to start things off for you, Dave. It's Rand.
Rand, well, you know, again, I all the love to him and good luck with his new snowblower company. You know. But, yeah, apparently, according to his blog post, he's going to write a book on how not to find angel investors or something of that nature. The risks of Silicon Valley investors. You know, well, at least he knows that. He figured that one out. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, poor Rand. I feel for him. It's got to be weird. Well, you guys kicked me out of the dojo. That's fine. Well, I'll miss the porn directors, man. But you know. Wow, anything interesting happened out there this week? Hammond, have you been trolling the Facebook groups, or I see a couple of things of interest?
The biggest news this week for a lot of people is going to be, of course, Rand's officially moved out, finished, done with SEO Mods.
You know, is he even relevant that much anymore compared to like 5 years ago? I don't know.
We all know.
Like, I don't see the zombies out there trolling on everything anymore like you used to, you know. So I'm not sure if it's quite as much a thing as it once was.
It's a big deal for Moz. It's a big deal for Moz, but it was a year ago when they started the process of moving him out. It's certainly a big deal for him and for people who built their career on following brands, which a lot of people did. Moz was a very popular community. A lot of people started their career there. So yeah, for them, it's a huge deal.
Yeah, you just got to wonder what, are they going to try and rebrand how they do things or the face of it? Or are they going to just keep on as it was going? Like obviously there's been some financial issues. They had the layoffs and stuff last year going on. And, obviously I'm guessing that's part of why he got the boot. So, how do you recover that? I don't know. I know the guys at Raven are trying to do the same. They've lost some, mind share. And so Raven's trying to rebrand themselves and do new things.
Moz is in a unique position amongst a lot of the tools in that it did have heavy investment from venture capitalists, and that's always a risky thing to be doing. You take on venture capital. This is investors who are not investing in your business, except as a means of making money. These are people who invest X amount and expect to pull out 5 times that in 5 years' time. More than they could have got in any other kind of investment.
And I think whenever things don't work out as planned, the CEO is always the guy who's going to get the axe. So you're kind of putting yourself at that risk when you went down that road, So.
Well, as he said, he hadn't done it before, and a lot of it was an eye-opening experience. It's certainly all going to be valuable stuff for him to know, because if you work in the tech world, sooner or later you do need to know about venture capital, and particularly how it works with software companies.
Like the way he described the way he got shown the door. Giving it a 4 out of a 10 tells me he didn't want to go. He was forced out because the only way they can really change the attitudes towards that company was to get rid of him.
I think that a lot of our ideas and notions of how Silicon Valley investment works is based on the HBO show Silicon Valley, which is satire.
I was going to say it. You can't tell satire from the real thing, really?
I think that's the point of good satire.
I don't know. I watched a few episodes and said, well, this isn't very realistic.
I learned the hard way. Back in 2001, I worked for a company that had initial seed investment, and a second round and a third round, and they were big companies that specialised in investment in the tech area. And it was eye-opening. It was very much eye-opening. A lot of things didn't go to plan. It's easy to raise investment and say, right, we're going to be building this platform. We need X amount of investment, and that's going to do this, and going to give us these growth figures. But then you actually have to hire the programmers to do that, and suddenly to what actually comes about. You've got what they call creeping featureism. All the way through development, you keep coming up with new things that you should add, which raises the costs. Everything always costs a hell of a lot more than you think. And I was in one of those companies where it had waves of layoffs. I was literally one of the last 5 in the company, and there were 100 in it, just in the UK office when I joined. And they didn't lay off, more than 20 in a go, kind of thing. It was fascinating because they had to stick to the plan even when it was pretty obvious that the wheels had come off that plan completely. When they first raised the capital, advertising was a significant money maker. Banner ads were still a profitable thing. And when the bottom dropped out of that market, there wasn't really a plan B. We developed one as we went, but we weren't allowed to change what we raised investment for. That plan was set. That was only to be used on certain activities. And it was a strange scenario where effectively it got shuttered and automated, even though it was earning 6 figures a month, because that was nowhere near what it should have been earning. They just wanted to liquidate their assets and get out.
I wonder how high the churn rate is there. I bet you it's high. If I was an investor, that's what I would be watching closely, because that tells you what people think of your tools and what their chances are going forward. And I think what I heard was a lot of people, especially that were doing local search, that were using other products that had formerly used Moz.
Moz was one of the entry-level tools because it was a little bit cheaper than most of them. It had a wide user base. You know, if you wanted to start with a tool, Moz was a good place to start. But it didn't take long until you heard they were better. And you never heard anyone argue against the fact that they were better. Whether you're talking about Majestic and Ahrefs for looking at links inside of their core and database, whether it's SEMrush for being a bit of a Swiss Army knife. I always thought it was odd that, you know, Moz rebranded to try and get more of the marketing aspect than just SEO and completely failed. And SEMrush actually is the best one for the wider aspect of market, looking at you know, market share.
Yeah, but you know, does that become a problem with how they chose which tools to build and which directions to go? Meaning, you know, were they really filling out that community, or were they just deciding what they thought would be best? I'm not as familiar with the Moz tool set, to be honest. I never really used it a lot, so I really don't know what they got back there. But no, obviously those guys and Raven kind of fell off the track over the last few years. You know, Screaming Frog, SEMrush. And a handful of other people, obviously Majestic and Ahrefs, seem to do just fine with what they were doing. But I guess, you know, sometimes your decisions make a difference. You know?
I think that you have to listen carefully to your audience and what they want. Screaming Frog does get involved in social media and social listening, and they are very receptive when you send them suggestions. I use their tool, and it's really helpful day to day for me when doing SEO. Not sure I can say the same with most other tools. What's that?
That's what makes me wonder. Is, you know, what I mean, were they internal decisions? Were they not listening to the community of SEOs as to what was needed? You know, it's amazing.
Remember, Screaming Frog come into the market after Moz. So
yeah,
that's somebody who just built a better mousetrap, and Moz just tried to stay with the old one, and it didn't sell after a while. And what Bill said about Screaming Frog in the media, like, you know, you and I can go and say to Dan, hey, what about adding this feature? And he actually thinks about it and considers it, like, to encourage that kind of, you know, participation from the owner of the company is huge.
You've got that with Moz. Unfortunately, you know, they set up. The problem with Moz is it evolved from different companies, all with the same leadership. So you started off with an SEO agency that was, you know, geared around being an SEO agency, and then it morphed into a community because Rand was doing well with connection. He was good at building up that kind of thing, so Moz became a community site. And then it became, well, you know, how do we leverage it? Let's build out the tool set. And it's gone through 3 different stages of the company without a clear turnaround of what it meant.
Well, you got to also consider what money got pissed away, like that LDA tool that was supposed to be their version of an LSI thing that crapped out, and you know what I mean. They've made some moves that were probably money pissed down the toilet, you know, and that's gonna not. When you got investors, I doubt that's making them too happy.
Especially when even the name they used for it was like not really understanding your market, that a lot of people would run away from that, like just using LSI and those
Well,
other
theirs was LDA. We could, yeah. So, but still, same shit, different pile. And obviously, you know what I mean? Then you got the whole PADA stuff that's supposed to be important. Who knows what it actually was? You know, again, I think maybe you just missed the mark with a lot of that shit. So,
Rand is a charismatic communicator. He's very good with audiences. He's very good with communities, but that's not the same as customer service. And I don't think that had really come across.
Well, I think they spread the tool too big. Like instead of Screaming Frog had the luxury of finding a niche and doing one thing and doing one thing very well. And Moz, I think, maybe spread themselves. Like I'm in the weird point where my career started with Moz, but in the forums, not with the tools, but in the forums from a community standpoint. And then the tools were good, but then the tools got too broad and none of them did everything well. And it was like, I'd much rather just, I think as SEOs, we're okay with going, like, if I got to go to Majestic and Ahrefs for links and I got to go here for this, I'm okay with that. You don't have to be the all encompassing tool. And then when you do that, everything else suffers because you're trying to do everything. Just do one thing, find one thing, give us a need, you know, answer a question and do that.
Kevin, one part of that. You said, you know, over time your tools became less good. I don't think that's true. I think it's simply that you grew as a marketer to realise the limitation of the tools.
Yes, I guess that's a better way of putting it. It got too, maybe not less good, but too clouded. Like it just their competition. They like if you were going to take on Screaming Frog and build a better spider, then build a better spider instead of trying to build a better mousetrap for everything. And then it's like, oh wait, I can't. You're not a one-stop shop, and I think that's what hurt them. And the weird thing about Rand is that he left, but he's still going to be on Moz for the next 6 months because he's filmed like I think 8 or 9 web whiteboard Fridays or whatever. So they haven't disconnected from him completely, but they can't change what they are with him still on board.
That's like the woman you kicked out who leaves stuff in your apartment. Same deal.
Yep.
It is a bit, but remember, you know, he still has 25% ownership of the shares of Moz, so he doesn't want it to sink because at the moment it's not where he can liquidate that. Nobody's going to buy him out for 25%, and unless they can do something useful with it, that 25% isn't worth that much right now. You know, as an investment potential right now, Moz is not a good buy.
so do we think that's kind of what happened with Raven as well? Is again too lack of specific, you know, too broad, and not specific enough at anything. So, you know, I know some of the guys who've come on to Raven again lately, and you know they're kind of trying to rebrand as well, and it just seems like those two might have something in common as far as that goes. You know.
Yeah, their pricing model at Raven is just anything I see that charges by the keyword. You're you know.
I still can't hear.
We can hear you, Gabs.
Well, we can hear you, Gabs.
That might be a blessing. You don't have to listen to us, and we can hear you. That's perfect. Yeah, I think Raven. I don't know. I stopped using them once John left. So when he sold his interest in it, I found no real reason to use them anymore.
They tried to automate something and they couldn't do it as well as I could do it myself. So I'm going to do it myself.
Yep.
I am checking settings at the top.
Yeah, I don't know. Jesus Christ, woman.
Check the icons in the address bar. Yep, I'm doing that. Still not on. Turn off camera. Turn on camera.
Well, your camera's
Just
working. Can you not
bandwidth.
see yourself, Gabs?
Go to the audio section.
Well, welcome to SEO Dojo, where we're sitting listening to Gabriella swear at her computer for the next hour.
That's perfect. She fits right in. We know that.
Yeah.
So, Gab, who's your favorite porn director?
Well, it's probably the same one as Zan's because apparently it was a pro lady director or something. So, yeah. I've much catching up to do to Anne's director now. I have to get the whole collection. Story guys, Steve.
I had a very interesting non-porn related conversation with Anne this week.
Wow.
Regarding tracking phone calls on websites and through AdWords and stuff. And so something I'm looking at doing, and Anne apparently is the queen of that. So I don't know. We're just not going to get her to talk, are we?
No, she never talks. So you're just gonna have to paraphrase it for her.
Yeah.
Well, we can put all kinds of words in her mouth.
Yeah. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to have another conversation.
Tune in the SEO Dojo next week, folks, when we'll have the world's greatest deaf, dumb, and blind SEOs joining us. Should be interesting. Nobody's going to talk. And we'll be talking local SEO just to make sure I don't.
We'll be doing the hand signals.
Yeah. We're letting Ono host it next week.
Step up. Cool.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Should know better. At least you're getting in there before I am, and that's what matters.
The time difference, the delay.
That's that little second lag. You can get your comments in before I am in there.
Exactly. And not be on mute.
Caps, have you tried to even see if anything's working? Like, did you even
That's all
try
I can do. It totally sucks. Totally sucks.
Wait, if you said that, can you hear us?
No, she can't hear us, but
we can hear her, but she can't
She
hear us.
answered your question. That's why that messed me up.
Just got lucky.
Like,
Well, no,
yeah,
she keeps saying stuff like this is bullshit and it totally sucks. So let's just keep asking her what she thinks of Moz. She'll be able to answer all the questions.
Suspend.
Oh, God, she's getting sound all right.
Wow, that worked.
Yep, she's definitely getting sound. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Well, YouTube hates you. Sorry, Google Plus hates you. That's all there is to it. Nothing we can do. So yeah, if anyone's ever wanted to, oh, now she could probably hear us or something. It's because hey, we ever wanted to give Gab some shots, this would be the time. Oh well. All right, so where to next? Apparently, social media link wheels aren't a thing. I love it when John Mueller has to confirm such exciting stuff. If I remember correctly, I think he said it's probably not a thing. So that's always positive. Yeah.
Does that mean it probably doesn't have value to have link wheels?
Well, yeah, he said something along the lines of, I don't think they work. What do you mean you don't? That is not the answer Google's supposed to give, okay? I don't care if they do work. You don't give that answer. I think he needs somebody new with their hand up his backside, moving his mouth. They might want to upgrade on that.
There's nobody with Matt's seniority. So although there's people who maybe know as much as Matt knew, you haven't got somebody else who was there as the first, in the first 10, who was there in the first batch of hires. Matt could get away with saying, as much as he wanted to within reason. Nobody else can.
Well, they did have Paul Hare doing some talking. He did speak at SMX West. And he's been around for a long time at Google too. He's like number 15, I think.
But he's unfortunately not going to be a spokesman. He was just speaking on the particular bit he wanted to because people were massively misunderstanding a lot of his hard work.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear him speaking a lot more, but I unfortunately doubt it's going to happen that much. I'd love to hear Jeff Dean speaking a lot more.
Jeff Dean does do a lot of videos.
Yeah.
He's promoting the artificial intelligence and the cloud type stuff, the TensorFlow cloud chips that they're giving people who pay for Google web service, cloud services.
That's another
I think
thing.
it's those live off the cuff guys they need, though, that can handle those thinking on your feet answers.
Right. Well, Jeff Dean can do that.
We learned this week how important Google Cloud is, because without it, Apple Cloud would just cease to be. You know, they'd have nowhere to store stuff anymore. Of course, it turned out that Apple Cloud was actually using Google Cloud for.
Yeah, it was fun to hear.
Yeah, I was just surprised that, John said something like, again, along the lines of, I don't think they work. No, that's not the answer. Anytime you hear the word link wheel, you go, no.
Well, when's the last time you put a link wheel up on a site?
What year is it? Yeah. I'm going with never.
What century is it?
What century is it?
Yeah, yeah. Social media link wheel, though. Like it's taken a turn now. It's social media link wheel.
I think I added one to a GeoCities account I had.
Yeah, I remember doing web rings. I don't remember ever doing a link wheel, but then again, link wheels came along after pyramid linking, triangle linking. Remember that? Three-way linking where, you don't want to do reciprocal. Google's really good at detecting that. So
yeah, the pyramid was A, B, and C. A, B, and C. Now the link wheel was A, B, C, D, E, F.
Exactly, because they somehow think that maths will fail if they add more numbers. They think that the idea of a Google graph, a link graph, that maps all of the connections will somehow fall over if Google has to count as high as 12. I don't know if these people have ever thought how the numbers of PageRank actually work and what kind of numbers they have to deal with to map every single link in existence. But trust me, 12 steps in your wheel is not going to throw a wobbly. We tried to explain it as pocket webs. People were, we'll interlink all of these sites together and it will make it look really popular. No, because it's in its own pocket. It's its own little bubble. It's not getting any strength from the known existing sites. When you're looking at links, think about the game of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. How many steps from your website to one of the Kevin Bacons of the internet? How many steps can I get from Yahoo or Microsoft or Amazon? One of the big companies, if I've only followed links, how would I get to your site? If the answer is, I'd have to go through this really incredibly long path. That's why it's not working.
Another thread I saw this, I guess today. I think it was yesterday. What's more important, on-site or off-site? It's like, why does one have to be more important? Why can't it just everything? Like what? It's still it always comes back to that big red button. What do I push?
Well, yeah. Everybody thinks that it's still the 90s when if you pick one tactic, you could get some big bang for your buck. And they're sophisticated enough now that you got to do all the things.
Well, questions like that, I just tell them to stuff keywords into the meta keywords tag. Works.
There you go. Really. Put them all in the footer. Why don't white?
Yeah, you need one of those footers. It's about this long. That's very important as well. Yeah, that is definitely. That's pretty high-end stuff. I don't know. That's pretty tough.
I saw a site. I saw a site the other day. The guy had his navigation in the top nav, in the footer, and on the sidebar. And I thought, Jesus. I went down to the footer, and I see a link there, a followed link, by the way, to develop a so-and-so SEO agency, which no longer exists. They didn't even have a site anymore. Yeah, this is sweet. The guy had like 160 links on his homepage.
All right, dude, I had a guy come to us this week for some PHP programming, so I clicked through to the website, and he's a Canadian feller out by me. And I sort of got, I'll send you the URL at some point. Literally, it was 1998 again, dude. There was literally waving flag GIFs up at the top. I'm not kidding you, man. It was like, oh my God. There was absolutely no structure, no template, and it was all HTML, and there was literally still flashing GIFs on it. I was like, wow, how are you doing business?
All coded in tables.
I wouldn't doubt it. I'm not kidding you, dude. And I don't even think there was table structure. It was that bad. It was just lines of text and links and stuff. And
so it wasn't responsive, right?
Yeah, dude. Like it was. I haven't seen anything like that in years. It was just frightening. Yeah. Man, I gotta dig it up. What was it? God. Yeah, I'll open my email here. I got to dig it up for you. You'll love it. But yeah, I swear to God, it was just the most great. Speaking of the old days, I remember when we were doing a site for this old feller back in like 98 or 99, maybe something like that. And he would get his secretary, and it was web development at the time, like Tanya was doing the site. I wasn't doing SEO on it. He would get his secretary. He was 65 back then, so he's probably dead now, but he would get a secretary to print out every page of the website. It was like 12, 15 pages, whatever. Then he would take a marker and circle things he want changes, make notes on these printouts, and then pure-later them up to us. He was down California, and we'd get this, manila envelope full of pages. It was the entire website with little circles and change this to that and change this to. Oh man, that was one of those moments, man. Ah, the stories, boys and girls. It's been a fun ride. So yeah, since other than a couple of these folks, we're all just getting old. We got to start a pool on who's dying next. Who's going next, boys? The rate I'm smoking and drinking over here, boys, I'm catching up in a hurry.
I choose to recuse myself.
Can we pick the people we don't like, not the people in this room? Like,
all right, go nuts. Why not?
I'm not getting in on that bet. You got to be in the death pool. Like, that's how you make your money. Like, if Elton John could go, I get a lot of points. Sorry.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of votes for Bruce Clay. So just stop that.
So I do have one question. It's kind of, it might be a dumb question.
Make it local so I can go get a drink.
Yeah, no. Well, it's local on my screen, and I don't know who has Windows 10, but
I do.
In the corner, there's what do they call notifications?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Windows 10 has notifications, and I get all kinds of notifications from different tools and stuff.
They're very questionable as to how useful they are.
You talking about push notifications?
I don't know. Is that how you
It's
get?
probably what it is, because it'll ask you, and if you're not paying attention, you just say yes to it, make it so it'll go away. You'll get a ton of them. I always say no.
It's giving me a paragraph for every email I receive.
There you go.
Why?
If you right click on it, it'll tell you like don't show any new notifications, or I just turn it off during
push
quiet.
notifications drive me nuts.
I turn it off during quiet hours, and I set my quiet hours from 9 to 6. So I let the notifications go all night. But
you can turn it on and off on a per application basis if it's based on software on your machine, things like your email client and things like that. When it's from other sites, that's push notifications. They tend to only come through when your browser is open. But again, actually, I think it was one of the threads with John Mueller the other day that was talking about how you can set Chrome by default to either not show those or to automatically say no to them.
Oh,
so check out Twitter and you'll find the link to that in John Mueller's recent past.
Right, because I don't get my email through Microsoft, so I don't get the emails on my notifications. But every now and again, and mostly it's software that I already own, and they're telling me there's an update or, new sale for whatever. And I thought, oh, that's pretty interesting. I didn't know how effective it was from an SEO point of view. You guys are saying it's not.
From an SEO standpoint, I can't imagine it having any value.
No, I think anything that annoys your user is probably a bad idea. If people if they don't ask for it, if I was going to institute something from an SEO standpoint, and most of my research showed that people ask how to turn something off, I would be like, okay, no, not doing that.
Yep.
If you run the kind of website that updates with news and people subscribe to that, and it's really important for them, then push notifications can be a really valuable thing. But make people opt in rather than opt out if you possibly can. You can do that by simply setting one page that sets the push notification rather than the entire site. And that way you can have people go to that page to subscribe to updates.
I mean, for Kevin, I thought it might have been a good thing for you. Somebody's looking for a new Chevy truck.
Yeah, we already get in fights with. There's the fights that I've given up on. Like we have those interstitials and those little pop-ups and the notifications some dealers put on their sites in general, and it's fights that we don't want to like. I mean, if people opt, the problem is in our car dealers is that they try to do everything. Not our car dealers, but car dealers in general try to do things before asking the customer to opt in. So I think it does more harm than good. So we haven't been able to run any tests yet. Like I'd like to get all of this manufacturer's dealers to have an opt-in program, and then I could go to the rest of them and go, hey, look, people actually want this, so let's do it. But I hate rolling stuff out as a general, like, this is a good idea.
A nice trick, a guy I knew a few years ago, he always had these lovely new Jags. And the reason he always bought Jags, and he was always selling Jags, was he worked out the perfect point between buying the car as a complete tax write-off and selling it for the maximum value and getting the new one, which again could be tax written off. If you could work out a calculator for cars and then notify people when that time was coming up, hey, now's the time when your car is still at the most value and you could get the new one, that might be a useful app for a certain.
Yeah. The problem is we don't do with a lot of used car dealers. Like there's much more, most of our business is new car dealers because it's more reliable. Like a used car dealer spending the money, like we are the most expensive in the auto industry, but we also provide I believe the most value. But used car dealers, your point is there. If we could find the way to do it, it's just they need to give us all access to everything.
The point is that he was buying new, and it's the buying part you want to remind them of. They can always work out how to sell their own car. They usually have friends who will buy those cars from them because they know this car's barely been worn in. I mean, he used to be selling these cars 18 months to 2 years after he bought them.
Yeah, there is a lot of value in that. The difficulty is, since we run the platform too, is I got to pick my battles as to what I want them to add in. So I agree with you, but I had hair when I started this. So, you know what I mean? It's a good point. It's just one of those like, if the dealers, usually what happens with us, and I think in a lot of industries, you move forward with stuff when your customers start coming to you asking for those things. So it would be tough to spend the money behind doing it and not get the dealers to then want to turn around and pay for it. So I like the idea, and if I do it, I'll give you full credit. But I don't think they're going to go for it right now. I'm trying not to do my hey, I've just been at the company for 6 months. Let's spend more money.
So I saw another thing on remarketing. and I'm sure it's the first time I've ever seen it. There was a little button to click, because you search for something and then all of a sudden you're remarketed to on every page, and you're like, man, I've already bought this. I don't want to see this ad anymore. So on this one ad I saw, there's the little buttons that said, don't see this ad anymore. So I thought, okay, that must be something that Google has in their remarketing thing that you can put into ads, so that you're not, because when you do remarketing, you're paying per 1,000 impressions, right? So if the guy says, I don't want to see this anymore, then you're not paying to show it to him anymore. Anybody else seen that?
It's a feedback part from Google. It is an opt-out. It's useful to them. It's useful to them as a statistic. It lets people know how many people are finding the targeting accurate, and it helps them know when their targeting is off. I.e., why are these campaigns getting more opt-outs than those campaigns?
The thing is, it would seem that most of the advertisers aren't doing this, right? So they're just remarketing. Like you search for a cappuccino machine, and so 3 months later you're still seeing ads for cappuccino machines, and you're like, gee, I bought it 3 months ago, and I don't. But so this one guy, whoever it was, I don't remember what it was, don't see this ad anymore. So I'm thinking it's a way to save money. From an SEO point of view, you're saving your client money by putting that in there and saying, well, we don't need to remarket to this guy anymore. He's already got his machine. Then do the ad spend elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, they do need to do that. Doc had a story like that. Doc, if I remember rightly, you bought a laptop for your other half, and then for the next week, it was still showing you ads for the laptop you'd already bought a week before. Oh, I think he's frozen up.
Sorry, man. I just threw everyone back into 1995. They're just waiting for everything to catch up.
Doc, we're talking to you.
Yeah, that
actually, that would be a really interesting plugin for something like WooCommerce or OpenCart, that once the purchase is made, send an electronic little thing to the AdWords remarketing, and to stop remarketing those ads to this website, or to this I don't know, IP address, I guess.
They kind of need an open protocol that can then work for all of the remarketing things, that can say, right, this product has been bought. So any of the remarketing, whether it's Facebook or Google,
yeah, but not to don the tinfoil here, but is that really in their best interest? So
well, let's say you start.
I get it all the time, and I get pissed off, and I'll just start clicking it. I'm like, fuck you, I already bought from you, but I'll click this ad and cost you a few more bucks, dickhead.
But think of it from a marketing point of view. You start remarketing upgraded options for whatever the guy just bought.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
There's a certain amount of that.
Crossbreed, crossbreed the remarketing with like Amazon stuff, because Amazon does a really good job of that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah,
but you can do that with targeting on other platforms as well. Don't forget, on Facebook, people often show off particular kinds of purchases, and you can target that. You can target, people who've recently posted mentioning this. It's a great idea to start showing them ads for the thing that extends that.
Yeah, right. Again, it's an evolution. I'm sure they'll get there eventually. You know what I mean? Because I doubt we're the only ones that are pissed off about it. So I'm sure everyone is. So that's just not quite there yet. But
I think it goes to the quality of the person who's running your remarketing campaign, like how hands-on they are, You know, like, because there's some times where I think it's just lazy where they're not sending out the cookie that goes to the buyers. Because there's some companies I buy from that I never see an ad, and then there's others that as soon as I buy, I see the ad. So I think it's like almost everything. It depends on.
Is there a separate cookie that fires when someone hits a sales completion page? Is there such an animal? I don't know.
I think there is.
Okay, I'm not an AdWords guy, so I don't actually know that.
I don't know either, but I think there is, because I thought somebody had told me that before, that they just didn't. They're lazy from a standpoint of
so the implementation's just being done for them.
Like, because that takes more work, because then you have to factor through who bought, who didn't. You know, it's one more step that some bigger entities don't want to deal with. But I don't know. That's what somebody else told me. So
but I get that. I get that so much. Like literally, I'll go and pay my hosting bill. I mean, and go watch a YouTube video or go to Facebook or something. All of a sudden, my hosting company's there in my face, and I'm like, okay, I was just there paying my bill.
Well, yeah, you just put a pixel on the thank you page, and
is it so it's a separate pixel code that fires just on that page, or
well,
I don't even know. Again,
I have not done it myself. I've seen it done. I think
what's the
there's
question?
various ways to do it.
It was my understanding that
we're trying to figure out how one, if there is a way or if it's done, that you implement a code that fires on a thank you page after somebody makes a purchase, so you're not remarketing to someone who's already bought the product.
Oh, of course, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, okay, that's what we thought. We're just not experienced with that. So
it's
just, not being done is just laziness, I guess. Is that the deal?
Any platform, either from Facebook to Google AdWords to everything.
Yeah, I thought like the purchase cookie could replace the remarketing cookie. It was the way it was explained to me, was that it takes you off.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yay.
Well, then it would be just as easy to again, cappuccino
You
machine.
change the cookie if you're not Google.
Say again?
Well, the cookie actually is from Google, right? So you have to be Google in order to change it. So you with?
No. Well, I didn't understand your question. What was it?
He's saying, is it really the cookie that's changing, or is it firing a separate piece of code that replaces it?
No, there's actually a conversion code. You slap it on the thank you page for the purchase completed. And this is because remarketing also, let's say, for example, AdWords, it's the same platform. So if you retarget people based on a marketing list that people not converted yet, or whatever kind of conditions you set on, basically, I mean, what you see is a poor implementation of remarketing, where people just remarket whoever visit their website or specific category, and they don't use what I call a dynamic retargeting based in more sophisticated type of implementation, just basic, straightforward remarketing. And that's why you guys, even though you converted or purchased, you always still see their ads.
Right.
The other thing you were talking about, Steve, what you do is instead of just serving up they've bought this, you'd also want to serve up the same kind of pixel information they were looking at this for the remarketing, perhaps the add-ons. If they haven't added those, then it serves that for them. So if they bought a coffee machine, it would sell them refills.
Right.
Well, that pisses people off a lot too, because I mean, it's one thing if I go online, I'm doing a Google search for dishwashers, and I finally decide, okay, I like the reviews I'm seeing on this Whirlpool. I go to my local hardware store and buy that dishwasher, and I keep seeing dishwasher ads pop up in my stream. That's understandable because they know that they were on Google looking for dishwashers, so they kind of accept that, even though it pisses them off. But when you go to Donovan Chevrolet and you spend $45,000 on a pickup truck, and you keep getting pop-ups from Donovan trying to sell you a fucking truck, that really pisses people off.
And I can see that, Doc, and I'll jump in where we try to get, and granted, we do the SEO and PPC handles the remarketing, but what we try to get them to do is to the new user or the new purchaser or whoever, you buy a car, the remarketing that we push you into is from a service standpoint. So you get on a delay where like you'll see the ads, but the ads are 4 months from now, your first oil change, or those kind of things, because we found that they give much more benefit to the user instead of trying to sell them. It's the same thing from a social standpoint. We don't have the dealerships going on trying to sell cars in that aspect, because most of the people that follow you on social already bought your product. So you got to give them a separate. I agree with you. Like if I buy a car, I don't want an ad for the car I just bought that might be cheaper and so on and so forth. But I would like to know the upgrades, or what can I do now that I've purchased that car. You know, if you bought a Jeep, like these are what you can do to mod out your Jeep and so on and so forth.
Like I went to Fry's Electronics and bought a new video card. And I went to Google, looked at some sources, decided that Fry's was the handiest. I went on there, I looked at a dozen different cards, finally made a decision, ordered it. My daughter stopped by and picked it up for me. And that's like 6 months ago. And I bet you I've gotten 80 or 100 emails from Fry's trying to sell me every goddamn video card they sell. And that,
that's bad.
If it was coming from other vendors, that would piss me off. It would annoy me. But when it's coming from the people that I bought from, that drives me up a damn tree.
Yep, that's bad remarketing. That's horrible remarketing.
Lazy as hell, yeah.
Well, that's what a number of people, I think someone here said that a lot of people that are doing remarketing, it was Terry who said a lot of people doing remarketing really don't know what they're doing.
A lot of people doing everything really have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think that's what we talk about most of the time.
Well, sorry, I missed something here. I was busy building my social media link wheels.
I thought we were going to talk politics in here.
The dark side of that remarketing is to deliberately target people where you know they've just bought it, quoting a much lower price that you know they're not going to accept because they've just bought it. But they will remember later on that your brand had it the cheapest, and they felt really annoyed that they missed out on the bargain they could have got from you.
Well, so, we were watching the show a while back, and they'd done a study on Amazon, and they had people going to it logged in, some people using anonymous, browsing and incognito, what have you, and then from the mobile phone, and the prices actually changed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If they think in your, with that cookie that as you're wandering around the web, you're a bargain shopper, they're going to bring that price down. And so yeah, we literally every time we go to Amazon now, we sort of fuck around, then we go there, we search a product, then we go elsewhere, search it, come back, and we usually save about $10-20. So you just gotta take advantage of them cookies.
Right, you can usually find the same things on Walmart or many other sites at discount prices. Sometimes shipping isn't as good, but often it is.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So there's all kinds of cookies I guess you can mess with if you wanted to.
Yeah, Amazon has a system that's designed to maximize the price for pay anyway. Once you've seen a price for an item, shop around as much as you like. You're unlikely to find it cheaper. The algorithm hides when there are cheaper prices. It will show you the more expensive ones instead. Because it doesn't have to show you all of the products. Only these are related, and it will tend to show you the more expensive related rather than the cheaper related.
And there are counterfeit products for sale.
Yeah,
sure.
It is a marketplace. It's not, everything's not sold exactly through Amazon. And
yeah, aren't they? I think they're cutting that out slowly, aren't they? Last I heard, there was a shutdown period coming this summer for a lot of those independent folks. Maybe that's part of the reason.
I don't think they're going to move away from the marketplace business model.
No, they were making it more difficult.
Yeah, I remember something was reported last fall that there was some element of those third-party people that they were going to come, harder on or whatever. So.
It's Prime. It's Prime that is the difference.
Is that what it was?
Prime is the deal through Amazon. It goes through the Amazon central office, and it was the smaller businesses who don't do that who were starting to feel shut out because it was always offering Prime first. It was offering the ones that are distributed through Amazon rather than the ones that opt out and do their own distribution. So it was getting much harder for them. Because Amazon make more money when they've got more places that they can show.
Well, as a guy who lives in the middle of fucking nowhere in a little tiny town, man, I love Amazon. I mean, I don't have to go anywhere. I find stuff, it's just as cheap. It's at the door in 2 days. So, yeah.
I think part of the reason they had to do that, Ammon, is Prime came after that. So they couldn't guarantee delivery from merchants that weren't under their control, right? As far as fulfillment.
And they still can't. They still can't. They don't really put the delivery dates on those third-party people. Don't, like, it's estimated 7 to 10 days, whereas the stuff through Prime says it'll be there 2 days from now. You know, it's like.
And Amazon just bought the door security company, Dash. So remember they had a program.
Is that so the drones can pick my lock and leave the stuff inside my house?
Well, they had a program last year where they would get your key and leave your deliveries inside your door.
Yeah, that makes
sense. Own the door security.
And they just bought Ring. They just bought Ring too. And
Ring. Yeah, it's not Dash, it's Ring. Yeah.
Well, they're a smart company. They're buying the companies that they can integrate into their system.
So yeah, it's like Google. Ads are bad. That's why we don't do ads. And then they went and bought a company that does AdSense. Got to integrate, boys.
Right, but the company that did AdSense didn't actually do the type of ads that they ran. Their ads were different. They were based upon a algorithm they called Phil. And the guy who wrote in the Plex said there was no real reason why they chose the word Phil, except there was a search engineer at Google named Phil, and he didn't like it because people kept on complaining to him about it.
So I have
they were so much more fun back then, weren't they? Come on.
I have a new client that I was doing some research on in different states, and they sell through Amazon. And I have to say that Amazon surfaced their product in the top 3 in all the states and all across the southern states that I checked. And I went back to my client and I said, I don't know what Amazon's charging you to sell through them, but it's worth it because you're in the top 3 and it's your product. They click on the Amazon link and it's their product that it's showing up in Amazon. And, you know, it's quite a boon to be in the top 3, to be in Canada and to be in top 3 in 8 southern states for a product.
Was that logged out incognito? Because I read somewhere.
I was using the I was using the I can't remember. It's a tool that allows you to search from a specific location. You put in a town. The guys who do local, Bright Local. That's who it is.
No, okay. Yeah, no, I asked only because I read not too long ago that Amazon somehow had leaked out that they were starting to do some search history incorporation into their site searches. So when you go onto the Amazon site and you look for a particular product or category, they were taking into consideration what you looked at before, which we know they've had that information for a long time. I mean, you scroll down, you'll see your previous viewed product, but they never would admit it.
Well, they've had previous viewed products, previous purchased products.
Right.
They've been offering recommendations based upon those for years.
Yeah, but I see stuff when I go to Amazon. I see stuff all the time showing previously viewed, even though I never bought it. So
right.
That's been there for a long time. So they've had that information. They've got the search history information, obviously. At least if you're logged in, whether they're doing it to people that are not yet logged in to make a purchase, who knows? Anyway.
But they're not pushing that information out to Google.
I would assume not.
No. No, what I'm saying is my clients hitting in the top 3 in the Google search results.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant on Amazon.
No. Amazon is getting them those top 3 positions for that product, and when you click on the Amazon link in Google, it's their product is being sold. I don't know what Amazon.
Doc, if you can't get in the front door, you go in the back door.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Amazon charges to.
Like you say, it sounds like it's worth it. That's pretty damn good.
Well, that's what I thought. I mean, there's no way I'm going to get it.
It's a percentage, but more importantly, you're doing a bit of a deal with the devil, because of course Amazon don't care which product they sell as long as they sell the product. At the end of the day, they'll go at the one that gives them the most margin, and it's fine if your client is the only one providing Amazon at that time. But if people see it selling well on Amazon, there are a whole generation of companies now that do nothing except watch what's selling on Amazon and then copy it. You know? Source a company in China to produce it, ship it direct to Amazon, have Amazon handle the distribution worldwide.
Right. Yeah. If they didn't get it, then they need to, it's gonna kill their business probably. If someone else goes in there and starts selling the same thing.
Now, is there PPC listings above that they might be able to get into as far as brand lift? And are they locked in by Amazon at a certain price? Meaning, can they beat their own price on Amazon if they factor in the commission they got to pay out? You know what I mean? If you have a PPC listing above that, you could actually, try and cut Amazon out of it a bit and make a little more money for it.
I don't think they can do that.
Yeah, I don't think they can either, to be honest. I don't work a lot with Amazon, but I would assume there's something in the paperwork that says nope.
Right. I mean, they surface their own site above Amazon in certain geolocations. Like say here in Ontario, their site surface is higher than the Amazon site. For certain.
That's because Amazon probably isn't set to one address. It has multiple addresses because it now has fulfillment centers in almost every major city in the States, I believe.
There's one here up the road.
In Canada?
Yeah, there's one here in Milton. So that's really close to you.
Wow.
No, I'm not that close to Milton. That's a ways away. Further than I'd walk anyhow.
Well, yeah, further than you'd walk.
Or take the bus probably. I might go out there if I'm going to the airport. But I haven't left the house in over a month.
Oh, no.
Well, this time of year, I can understand that.
Doesn't matter what time of year it is.
He's until they have that parade for the Leafs winning the cup, he'll be staying home.
I'll be downtown for that.
Yeah, he'll be there for that one. That's
all
it.
that with me. That's all.
That's not that pride parade, is it?
So has everyone figured out that one thing that we all need to be good at SEO yet?
Thinking.
Nobody? Because apparently it's always got to be one thing.
It depends.
Yeah, how many times a week do you see a post saying, what's your favorite #1 tool? What's your favorite #1 link approacher? What's your favorite number?
Good, how are you?
Hold on. This could be good.
What was the telemarketer?
Oh, he left us out of it. Oh, well. Yeah, it's constantly. I keep thinking back to other industries. And, like I was saying earlier before the show, my first business at 22, I was building custom kitchens and bathrooms. It's like saying, what's your favorite one? Well, no, it's all different pieces and parts, from framing to cabinets to flooring to, to do the job. It's a multitude of different things. You would never sit there and say, what's your favorite #1 tool? Well, I need all the tools to get the job done. Like one tool's, that's a stupid, my hammer. And that's all I need. I'm just going to go in here and build the whole fucking thing with this fucking hammer.
Fuck a bunch of saws.
Yeah, who needs the saws and the grout tools? Fuck it. I'll hammer those tiles into place. There we go. Fucking A. Looks good like that.
There probably isn't a tool alone that is any good. That tool alone is probably.
Yeah, without the other pieces and parts and.
Right.
Yeah, like, and how many different types of hammers are there even? Like, a rubber mallet's going to work in some situations where the steel isn't. So, but the SEOs are constantly like, what's your favorite number one link building tactic, or number one tool, your number one content strategy, or what's your, it just seems like, again, I hate harping on the red button, but it always just seems like no one quite gets this whole holistic view thing. Like, here is an SEO strategy and program. It's like this. It's not this or that or this or that.
It's a bunch of things that all work together.
Well, somebody was asking about audits, and everyone starts putting this tool and that tool. And I was like, we always say it all the time, but again, it seems like repeating it, which was just simply that it's your brain, not the tools. The tools collect the data. If you don't know what the hell you're looking at and what to do with it, I'm sorry. Any audit tool is going to be useless.
I saw somebody ask something about that the other day in one of the groups on Facebook. And what's your favorite or the most effective part part of your SEO campaign? I thought, what's the most effective part of your car?
Yeah,
the carburetor, the rear end differential, the hubcap. Come on, it's an assembly. All these parts.
The wheels are kind of important, but they're not much use without an engine. So
some of it is just aesthetics, but the majority of it has a function. Ooh. And without that functioning part, the rest of it is just a goddamn boat anchor. The guy got all pissed off at me and said I was getting snotty. Yeah. Your point?
But I could even understand some, being younger SEOs and whatever, but you're actually still an intelligent human being, I hope. Some of these people are late 20s, early 30s, and at what point does the logic click into your head about how this stuff works? That, if it was, that I don't get it. Like, when I started doing this, I didn't sit there thinking, okay, one thing's going to work. You tried everything. It was like, oh, okay, let's try this and try that and try that, and back when I started, I was just anything I learned, I went out and tried it to see what it did,
Again, you didn't have a guy at Google telling you how to do it.
Hell no, there was no Mozes and there was no nothing. It was like, you had to just news groups and the forums. You just went and looked, talked to people, and you listened a little more over time to people you respected more or whatever, you still wanted to go out and try it. What's it do? See what it does. But I never ever back then, because we didn't even have tools or anything, Terry, right? So log file analyzers. That was about as exciting as it got back then. I discovered log files. Oh, log files! This is exciting. That was pretty cool.
But all that being said, what you were saying earlier was about on-site and off-site. If your on-site stuff isn't, if you're got 1,000 links and a great social media campaign, and you're just bringing them to a piece of shit website, it doesn't work.
That gets into your CRO stuff and user, sure, that all blends into the company itself. But even from an SEO standpoint, there's so many moving pieces and parts that, the concept of your top 1, 2, 3, top 5, whatever tactics / tools / whatever, just never makes any sense to me. It's an addiction. It's a crutch. It's makes me wonder. Like Terry was saying last week or the other day or somewhere we were, it's like, why am I bothering to pay for Majestic when I use it once every 2 months? So, but most people, you ask, Majestic, love it. Well, what are you doing in there, Terry? Like, if you know what I mean? Like, what are people doing? I don't know. It's like keyword tools. Yeah, some guy was talking the other day. Anyone know a good ranking tool that can monitor 500 keywords? And that kind of got me thinking about that again. I was like, back to that concept.
Well, everything's driven through analytics.
Yeah, right? Numbers are my life, man.
But there's so many people out there, Steve, that they don't have a clue how to even look at their analytics data.
There's a lot of it, and then when you get into it, you find out, well, gee, why can't I put that column in here and see how that works? And yeah, you know, you want to, the deeper you get in, the more you want out of it. But, you know,
yeah, but I was doing, you know, I mean, I've been doing custom reports for years. Like I've got a whole batch of them that I've created that I can apply to all the accounts of my clients and stuff like that. You know, the out of the box vanilla analytics isn't a lot of fun either, because each client's going to, you know, have different questions, different needs, different things I'm looking for. You know what I mean? So I've got some custom reports that are about engagement and UX. I've got other reports about conversions. I got other, you know, I create different things to show me the kind of the business intelligence I'm looking for in that situation. Sometimes it'll mirror and be useful for other accounts. So I'll add that custom report to another account. But vanilla, you know, analytics out of the box for me is never really, like for many years now, it's not been something I really do a lot of. You know, I mean, I really prefer to create reports myself based upon what I want to know. But again, that goes back to what Doc's saying. You don't go to analytics and look around at it and go, okay, what do I give to the client? I go to analytics with questions in my mind. What do I want to know? Or what does the client ask me in my last meeting? So now I'm going to go in there, and if I can't figure it out, I'll go create a custom report to find that data and to mine that data. I mean, I don't just sort of look at analytics and go, well, that's interesting. You know, and I kind of always approach tools with a purpose in mind, you know.
So here's a specific question for you, and I haven't tried this yet because I've spent a whole 10 minutes with Data Studio. So if you pull your analytics data and your AdWords data, can you create a table using both of those sets of data?
You could pull anything you want into a table. You could pull in Google Analytics with a little bit of Google Search Console, with a little bit of your AdWords data. If you've created scripts inside of Google Sheets, like maybe for social data, because out of the box you can't really get that. It's better to do it through Sheets. You can pull from there, and a multitude of other data sources. Any of the data sources that they currently have, you can pull into most any report and combine them all to show in a table. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's the great advantage with it over, like, you know, the old days with dashboards and analytics. Actually, speaking of which, Kevin, there was something came out the other day. What was it? They released, and again, you got to remember, Steve, it's kind of new, right? So they're constantly, like, you know, adding some new stuff and what have you. Yeah, there's something new.
Are you talking about the Salesforce integration?
I'm not sure, dude. I saw an email for it yesterday, and I did not actually read it too much. So hold on, let me just pull it up. It's in Gmail here. Excuse me. But yeah, there was something they'd added. Discover latest updates for Google Data Studio. Okay.
So the next question,
so they have a new properties panel. Supercharge your YouTube with new fields. Pictures worth 1,000 words. So there's new stuff for images. New open source connectors. GitHub. All right. And securely connect to Postgres SQL and MySQL, so you can actually connect with MySQL. So essentially, even if you wanted to, what they're saying there, Steve, let's say, you know, I get Tanya to create some sort of data thing that's coming out of WordPress, and she puts it into a MySQL database that is formatted properly. I could pull that into Data Studio. You know what I'm saying?
So at some point, you have to ask, what the hell do I charge to do that?
Well, the cool part is once you make templates that you think you'll reuse over and over, like e-commerce ones and informational sites, which I have a handful of templates created. Literally, all you do is make a copy of it, connect it to the new client, because you'll have all their access through GSCE and analytics, right? And boom, it populates it just like that. Now you'll have to change the goals and e-commerce settings a bit, because, you know, those tend to be unique to each site. But generally speaking, you can have a new client set up on there with, if you have enough templates, I'd say within an hour and a half, Kevin, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And that's what
depending on how many, you know, how many pages your
elements.
report is and all that fun stuff. But yeah, like it's cool because all the knobs and switches in the back are complete. They all go with the template.
Yeah.
So to your point,
Yeah.
you just change some stuff and everything.
So to answer you, Steve, it looks like you've done a bunch of work when you really haven't done a whole bunch of work. So I'll tend to charge, you know, $500-600 just to set that up for them, because it's gold once they see it, you know, because they, you know, my clients always constantly get emails about analytics. Well, this report, I don't understand this and that. You can set this up that it's very logically created, that it's just a business intelligence that your client needs. You know, if it's your overall report, if it's your SEO report, your AdWords one, whatever, I have a bunch of them. But it gives them the information they need. And it's great when I'm having meetings on Skype or whatever. I can just pull it up and screen share, and we can go through the high level sort of business data, intelligence data they want to see. And if they want to know more, then I'll go into analytics and dig up one of my customer reports or something like that for them. But I find it's just so much easier to communicate with clients as far as, you know, my life goes. So.
Yeah, I can see doing it for $500.
Yeah, well, at least minimum.
I sure don't want to do it for $100 though.
Hell no. You know, and again, that's your call, because it's easier reporting and it costs you less time answering emails when they're stumbling around in analytics. So it could save you money over time, or save you time, you know, depending how you do stuff. You know, I charge clients for, you know, they send me an email and I got to go running around analytics to find an answer. I'm charging for that. So, you know. Oh, I guess it's situational. It depends.
Yeah, like if you're doing reports for clients, that's what I would keep it. It's going to save you time. It's probably going to save you money. So like I would keep your fee at what it is, and then you can make more money based on what the time that it would take you.
Well, and I think again, it and again, each client, I'll tailor my template a little bit depending on the business, but at least you don't have to create them from scratch.
Right. But you look at it more like a setup fee, like, based on
that's what it is.
Setup.
Yeah, it's a setup fee essentially. Yeah, and you know what I mean? Because, and I just find it's made conversations with clients a lot easier, because I can, you know, those reports are very tailored to a degree and show the high level information that they're looking for. And then from there we have discussions, and if they want me to dig deeper into something, I will. But I'd say 80% of the time they're quite happy looking at them. I mean, my biggest one's about 7 pages, I think, but that covers everything from technology, which is like load speeds and what size browsers are coming to the site and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I've got a conversions report. I've got an engagement report for content engagement and stuff like that. And so it's about 7 pages, 7 topics. But it hits all the head points that are needed in a meeting. You know what I mean? And my meetings are still lasting an hour and a half, 2 hours. So.
Right. And like ours they're coming in at like 9 or 10, but that's also because I've got it built where they look like pages. So I'm not, I could put it all in one page, but I'm doing it to be printed out by the client. Yeah. They're replacing we did it from a scale standpoint. I want my consultants to be able to push a button, or not even have to push the button. I want them to have the data and then let them make the judgment call. Whereas their reports prior, they were spending all of their time pulling the data and putting it into a report. So yeah, this is great from that standpoint.
I find it just be really good business intelligence that you can structure to, you know, that business, and it just expedites all your conversations. You know, like I said, I've got a general one which covers a bunch of crap. My other main template's an SEO one that's 3 or 4 pages, and I have an AdWords one that's I think 5 pages. So
yeah, ours is just SEO. The extra tabs are for year over year to show mostly for the clients that aren't paying attention.
And that's it too, Steve. You can have, like, you know, month over month data SEO wise sitting right beside year over year. You know what I mean? And which I like too, Kevin, because, you know, a lot of my clients are actually with me for a year or so. So I could show, you know, side by side, not what I've just done in the last month, but what I've done in the last year. And again, Steve, you can have like organic traffic and conversions and new and used visitors, whatever. New and used. I'm sorry.
Month doesn't work very well because a lot of companies are seasonal. So I use a lot of year over year comparison to the earlier year. You're more apt to be comparing apples to apples than.
Yeah, see, yeah, exactly. My SEO reports do have the year-over-year stuff because I think that's important.
Yeah. as far as reports, there's two things that I have in there for myself, and all I look at is entry and exit pages.
Yeah.
And mainly what I'm looking at there are the bounce rates, which are telling me, did they find what they were looking for or not? Do I have the right CTAs on the page or not? And then I have, or depending on the client, some clients were tracking what countries we're getting leads from, because
you should put that with like the cohort analysis stuff too, which you can't. I don't think you can do cohort analysis in Data Studio, can you, Kevin? I don't think so.
No, I haven't been able to get it.
I don't use any. I use analytics and Word.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's in analytics. I'm just saying new and returning visitor stuff with that bounce rate stuff. If you also try and, it'd be nice if you could actually get cohort analysis shit in there. I don't think you even can through a custom report, to be honest.
I don't really need that much, really, for the customer, for my customers, anyways. Few thousand clicks a month, and
I just do it because I can't help myself, Terry.
Yeah,
I love it. I love analytics.
But all the things I check have actionable data. So, if I'm going to check it, I'm checking it because it'll tell me something about what's going on. I check the countries because of the new SERPs, and we're seeing 10 to 15% increase in our business outside of Canada since the SERPs changed to where it doesn't matter where you live, they show you,
I just think Google likes me more lately or something, because I don't think I really changed how I do things in the last couple of years, but like every client I got, things are just turning into gold lately. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Like, really. I don't know. Google's catching up to me.
Let me ask you what cohort analysis is. I've seen it in analytics, but I've never even clicked the button. I don't even know what it is.
We should click the button sometime. Hello, bro. Seriously? Wow.
That's a great answer.
Well, Jesus.
I'm not muted.
Right. I'm going to go pull one up here. Hold on. Let me see if I have some sort of account I don't care about.
Cohort analysis basically is grouping people based on specific metrics or dimensions. So let's say you want to group people for and try to study their behavior. So grouping people that first time search engine users, or people that have came in from Google and they use mobile phone or whatever. So you group these people so you can optimize how you deliver or their experiences when
So on a group of metrics.
Yeah, I mean it depends. It's really depends on your audience, right? And see, it's like, for example, you see based on your conversion data that people that have iPhones with software above 11.0 convert the best. So you try to track these people. So you build cohort for these type of people. Try to try to
Analytics
serve them and
loading,
optimize
so.
and milk them in a way better.
Which is like Wednesday, because literally analytics is hanging right now. Not sure why.
So with some that can't do without the studio.
No, it's basically different.
No, cohort analysis, Google Analytics, Terry. You can until they actually you can. I don't even think you can pull it into Data Studio yet.
No, analytics have what they call it a simple version of cohort analysis, very basic, but it's really hard to pull information out of it unless you have really good audience coming in, and usually depends on I don't know. usually cohort analysis is outside analytics. They build what they call a homegrown or type of softwares.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah, do you ever play in the affinity categories either? Because I know how much you love that stuff on Majestic, so you should definitely be in there.
The what?
Affinity categories.
Never heard of it.
It's Google Analytics version. Okay, you know when you're in Majestic and how much you like how it tells you what kind of links they are from, like what kind of sites, if it's a shopping site, automotive site, da-da-da. You know you like that breakdown?
Yeah.
Google Analytics has that for people coming to your site. Now, how reliable it is, who knows? It's not bad, actually, given I've talked to some of my clients who actually have brick and mortars, and they tell me that, it's pretty damn close. But it gives you affinity categories. Kind of handy for, I guess, content creation, stuff like that.
I mean, I use that. I use that sometimes if it's like raw data that I can pull if I need to advertise using Facebook.
Yeah, see, that's what we use them for Facebook advertising, for content creation as well, to help with capturing the demographic a little tighter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you'd like it, Terry. Trust me. If I can't get analytics to load right now, so I can't. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, you'll have to show me it.
Yeah.
How to work.
But you can pull that stuff in a data studio. That's for sure. Pretty sure. All right, yeah, Data Studio is loading. So give me a second. I'll pull it up here. So let's say you're like doing a demographic kind of thing, Terry, right? You're trying to figure out the demographic for a client, or at least. And again, I've actually talked to clients. I don't just create reports and go, well, I trust Google. I've actually talked to the clients and said, is this what you feel is close to what you see coming in the door and buying stuff from you? Oh, so, yeah, see? Analytics down for anybody? Because I've got no data. Yeah, it's not pulling all the analytics shit right now. That's fucked up.
Friday afternoon, someone fell asleep.
Ah, it's weird, man. No, it's weird. I can't even get to analytics.
Someone unplugged the computer.
Oh, my analytics is working.
Is it? Yeah, something's going on here then. Oh, there she is. She's loading slowly. Yeah, that's probably this hangout. Side country internet. Actually, it is kind of shitty right now. No, I'm not even getting data. I'll show you after, Terry. Terry, you got Data Studio hooked up, though? So if I show you a template, you can just use it? Oh, okay, well. Tell you what, buddy, we'll get together over the weekend or Monday, and we'll get you all set up in there, man. It's a lot of fun. Okay. Kevin, did you ever, have you gone as far as, excuse me, Supermetrics yet? I still have not done that.
No, I haven't. I want to talk to somebody there before, I've read up on their pricing things. I just want to make sure what their definition of accounts are. And they say that they're going to start changing that they may change what they charge for and how they do it. And before I link 200 dealer accounts to it,
I
don't want to find out that my my $200 bill turns into a $20,000 bill.
Well, I should probably, I should in the next week or so, probably go and give it a try. So I'll find a good dummy account and I'll just add you.
That's cool.
So you can go ahead and play with it.
That works. Yeah, we're doing a lot of we're trying to figure out the ones that we need and if we can justify the cost.
Yeah.
If it's $100 for each login that we have, then
yeah. See, I'm a one-man shop, so it's not a big deal to me. So
right, but then I can justify $500 if I can do it if it speeds up the process. But I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
I just haven't.
Yeah, Supermetrics. Sorry.
Yeah, I use them in Google Search Console, Google Sheets.
Do you? Yeah. So yeah, here's their
because
try thing. That's the link I just put in the chat there. That's to hook up to all their shit. And again, it all connects up with Data Studio, so I think it's something I want to definitely look at. People watching, I guess I'll go put that on the show page.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Bill. Let's all call Bill.
Yes, it is. Hello.
Yeah. Man, don't tell me. I swear to God. I'm gonna get his when he's not looking, since he's not listening right now. I'm gonna wait till some point during this week. I'm gonna say, Bill, what's your phone number? Oh yeah.
Check his Facebook page first. Might be.
Yeah, and what's no, I could just literally just drop it into the Facebook group of the dojo or into our Skype chat and say, everyone call Bill.
Remember,
Bill's
they say keep your enemies closer, but it's really keep your friends closer.
Bill's
so
lonely.
you know.
He asked if some of you guys could give him a call. Oh, that'd be fun. Yep, that would be fun. Oh, was it 2:35? Okay, well, I guess when Bill gets back, we'll excuse ourselves.
I should never open up analytics. I get it's like going down a rabbit hole. It's just don't open it up. Oh, what's that number? What's that number? Oh, new shiny thing.
That's what I mean. Like that's the good thing I like about like even that because I'm pretty bad with that, dude. I get all excited about analytics and I could spend days in there and forget what I'm doing. That's kind of another part of the reason I like Data Studio because I literally check in there now. Just go check out my client accounts, make sure nothing weird's been going on as far as conversions dropping or whatever, and make everything okay, fine, everything's cool here, and I can go back about the work where it doesn't become that rabbit hole. If I see something I want to look into deeper, then I switch back over and go to analytics. It just kind of keeps the higher number focus on my brain.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to spend some time this weekend with Data Studio.
It's fun, man. I like it.
Like I said, now I got a new client. I got to write a freaking contract for.
Oh, you look so sad about it. Most people I meet are like, yeah, I got a new car.
I said to her, she phoned up this morning. I went and I saw her this morning, and I said, well, we're at $3,000, and you got to nod before I go spend 2 hours writing up a contract because.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm with you there, man.
If you're thinking $750, then there's no point in me writing a contract.
No, yeah, dude, since I've been back doing the public shit and dude, 10, 15 maybe different proposals in the last month, maybe more. And I got a closing rate of about 25%, not because I suck, because it's just I don't work for that cheap. It's like So yeah, I had a meeting yesterday with some guys, and and they were like, "Whoa, did you look at our analytics? Did you look at our GSC? Did you look at all this stuff?" I was like, "Nope." They're like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Because I just want to have our first meeting, talk to you about what you need, what you want, what your budget is, and once we get through this meeting, we'll know if I should continue forward." Because I'm not going to go look at shit. I'm not going to write up anything until at least I clear that first hurdle, and those hurdles will keep coming up.
It bothers me that people they want, and I'll give away the first meeting for free and whatever. But you look at them and you say, well, it's $1,000 a month, and they think you're lying. Oh, well, you will look at it, and I know you'll only do it it'll be $250. I said, no, it's $1,000 a month.
I had that conversation yesterday, dude, and he literally said, I don't know, you tell me what a price is. I said, guy, it's like someone asked me for a form of transportation. I can go build you an Austin Mini, or I can build you a fucking space shuttle. Which is it going to be? You know what I mean? One's billions of dollars, one's a couple thousand. Where are we talking? What are we talking about? He said, well, shouldn't you be telling me that? I said, no. I said, because, I've got people that spend $1,000 a month. I have people who spend $10,000 a month. Where are you? How much do you want to spend? How heavy do you want to hit this? I can find lots of ways to hit this as hard as hell for 10 grand a month. But if you can't afford that, then that's fine. So we had this whole discussion about that. But again, I'm not, they were kind of surprised I hadn't dug into their website. I was like, I'm not gonna. Because I've had too many of those in the last month that are just, kicking tires and wanting to spend a couple of bucks. And, they want the champagne dreams on a Kool-Aid budget. Like, sorry, I can't help you with that. I don't sell Kool-Aid.
I don't do nothing until I get paid.
Yeah, I'm with you, Terry. But I'm from the school of Van Horn, so you know what I mean.
25 years in the business, I don't have to prove myself in track record.
Well, yeah, and again, this was a referral from a dojo person, right? That's where this came from, so I'm being respectful. But yeah, same thing, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like this guy came out of the wild. He was referred by someone who knows me, so, hey, bro.
Anyone who complains, you know what I tell them? There's 24 hours a day. I make my money by the hour, so I can't do things for free.
Yep.
Because that means when I'm doing those things for free, I'm should have been getting paid by someone else. So that's the way it works.
But the other thing about always getting money up front, I've always found almost categorically, if I've started to do work for somebody on a say so that they'll have a check on Monday or whatever, it's always bombed. It's always gone bad.
It does, exactly. And that's it. Once I train them that they're paying me up front, they'll always be paying me up front. It's never a question. I had a client for a year and a half now. She's always had to pay before each month, before I do any work, before anything happens. Even with Tanya. Tanya's rebuilding her website, and she's got two of them, and same thing. Everything's up front. Have a nice day. We're not going anywhere. We've been in business 20 fucking years. So give me the money, we'll start working. Until then, keep talking. Have a nice day. I have no interest.
Upon the job. If it's when I start with someone, I want the money up front. Once I'm established with you, then I can, because I work by the hour, right? I don't charge so much per month. I charge so much per hour.
No, same here. Dude, I charge per hour and I give them an allotment of hours. And at the end of each month, I hand it in saying, here's your 10 hours, 20 hours, whatever. And that's what they're paying for. I'm the same as you, man. You know what I mean?
Because if you don't charge by the hour and someone's paying you X amount per month and it's not really in it what you're doing, you're writing emails and phone calls for free.
Yeah, dude. Every month my spreadsheet comes in, and if we had a 2-hour meeting that month on Skype, that's fucking in there, 2 hours, so they understand where every fucking hour is going every fucking month. And I mean, and in some months, like I got one that she's 20 hours a month. If I'm an hour and a half short that month, I roll it over to the next month, and it shows at the bottom hours owing. Boom, and I roll that into the next month and whatever.
I charge by monthly too. I charge twice a month, so no one ever gets into me for very much.
You know, again, we get. You know, I guess I'm in that position. You know, I mean, there's a lot of younger guys I meet, and you know, they don't have that luxury. But I think it's not about luxury. You just got to start a relationship that way. And again, you know, I mean, I've done audits for people, literally, you know, and you know the story, Terry. I did this audit. That's where it started for me. You used to always tell me, and I never listened to you. And then I had that one time. I do this audit, 50% up front, 50% on completion. I hand the audit in. She's like, what do you mean I got to change URL structures? What do you mean my architecture is screwed? I can't afford to do any of that. I'm not paying for this audit. I'm like, well, what the fuck? What do you expect me to say?
Yeah. One of the reasons for the people that charge by the month, one of the reasons that you started out like that, but I found, A, I wasn't getting paid for a lot of time that I was working, and B, you constantly have people wondering, what did they do to earn the $1,000 this month, especially when you're only maintaining ranks. They think once you get there, you don't have to do anything more. We know differently, but they don't. Every month they know what I did on their website to maintain those ranks. For me, that's the only way to do it. You don't get any arguments that way.
No, dude, I've always, I mean, like every month I have, you know, my monthly or bi-monthly meeting with the client. We run through everything from conversions to what got done, what's going to get done next month, and so forth and so on. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm the same way. Mine's itemized every month, every hour, every activity. You know, what was done, what was worked on. Is it finished or not? Is there more to be done, or is that? I mean, and I also have a tab in there that's, you know, things that have been knocked off, so they can see over the period of the last year all the shit that's been knocked off, right?
Or even, and I had another case like this where it was a really stubborn industry and it was going to take a long time to get going. If you're not showing any results after
payday loans,
after a couple of months, they know what you were doing, right? Whereas the person who paid $1,000 a month for a bunch of services listed. They don't have clue one watching.
Or it was like all those forensics. We go, you and I would come in and say, oh, someone did some link building. Can we see the spreadsheet? No, they didn't give me nothing. Okay, wait. You paid somebody to do some link building, and you have absolutely no proof.
Nothing to prove that they did anything.
Nice. Just get that money, throw it down the toilet. Here we go. Flush.
Cut out the middleman.
Fuck, man. That's it. How many times have we run into that one?
A lot.
Oh, man.
I keep a Google sheet that they have a link to, and I just add to the bottom of the Google sheet every week. This is what I did. This is how much time it took.
Yeah, see, I just say I'm just old school, and I just don't put the word SEO into anything attached to Google's.
I don't use Google Sheets for anything.
No. It's just an old school paranoia, but it's how we roll.
Well, what about the guys that keep a list of where they place their ads? Really? How dumb are you?
Yeah.
And then they're public documents to boot.
Well, it was like the old Google Dorks. Anyone remember Google Dorks? That's when you can still probably do it today. You go into Google and you can search stuff like, not for public release, file type PDF and shit like that. You can find all kinds of corporate junk lying around that people.
Oh yeah, that's stuff. I didn't know that had a name.
No, they're called Google Dorks, dude. Look, you could go Google that right now. And I used to have a list of them. I used to publish back in 10, 15 years ago. I used to publish a list of all kinds of really fun and cool ones. You could get like, site. You could use anything.gov, file type PDF, and then you could use not for public release in quotations or et cetera, classified or
confidential, all that
confident or right, and use a handful of different search operators. You could find all kinds of crap that Google's indexed that probably shouldn't have been. But yeah, they used to be called Google Dorks, and I used to have lists of those shit, man. It was one of my hobbies.
I love finding Google documents from Google that had confidential on them.
Are you kidding me? Seriously, you found some of those? That is awesome.
There are some. There were some.
That is funny as hell.
Upcoming patent applications and.
Well, yes, but yeah, you can find.
So Bill's gonna run to the patent office and patent it before they do.
No, there are ways to make some of those things better. And Yahoo and Bing have been doing it for years.
Kevin. Yeah. See, I just searched Google Dorks, and you get some really good ones just coming up right away, man.
Hell, I just went to Google and in URL checked for confidential and 62,000.
Oh yeah, but check some of these out, dude. Here's a nice list of shit for you, man. Check some of these out. And again, if you just put you can use .gov if you want, whatever. Use file type PDF. Tends to work well with these. Oh, they got file type in here too. Okay, nice. Yeah, this is the exploit database. Google hacking, otherwise known as Google Dorks.
Yep, saw that. Okay.
Yeah, they're called Google Dorks, man, and they're just a fun way to spend a Saturday afternoon. I'm telling you, it's like so much crazy shit that people think's not it.
People put stuff up on the websites, like financial statements that they're going to file with the SEC, and they aren't allowed to disclose publicly. They, for some reason, think it's a good idea to publish them on the websites.
Because people are stupid. There's no such thing as a stupid question, but there's a lot of things as stupid people. God, it's not the question's fault, it's the people.
All right, for those of you still paying attention, I guess on the old event page, I don't really like doing this, but why not? There you go, some Google Dorks. Just use that search query. But yeah, they're called Google Dorks, Kev. Now you're all old like me now and educated, son. I said. Yeah, Google Dorks are fun, bro. And then once you get used to enough of them, you can just create your own and have fun. It's a new job for some black hat. Just go download all those and start extorting people. Oh, wait, shit. I forgot. We were waiting for Bill to get off the phone. All right, so we're way over our time. But green room's open as always. And now that Bill's back, we're going to get rid of everyone and say goodbye. Bill, go ahead and say goodbye to everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bill Slosky, if you don't know who he is, I don't know why you're still watching this. Kevin, say goodbye. Are
Happy
you
birthday,
doing?
Dave.
Oh,
Bye.
thanks. Very nice. And as soon as we get off the air, there will be dancing girls behind me, just so you people know what you're missing.
And no.
Steve, say goodbye to the beautiful people, Steve.
Oh, me. Yes, Steve Bonin, Harris Web Creative.
I don't even do that because we did at the beginning. So if they weren't there here for the beginning, fuck them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, we've got to think of a way to close these shows. You know, I like Bill Animan's idea. I just when it bookends, it makes no sense. So just tell us what happened to your mustache. That's all anybody really wants to know, dude.
All the women in my life ganged up on me and said, "Shave it or color it."
Oh, you were looking too old?
I was looking too old. Yes.
Yeah. Trying to find some new women.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die for that now, Steve. So
daughters.
I'm not gonna make it to 53 because I'm about to die when I.
Yeah, daughter's wife and mother. They all said.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. Terry, tell us how you really feel.
Fuck off.
Woohoo! Wissam, goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a great weekend.
You enjoy yourself with the witness protection. No, he's in the Wissam protection program. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next Friday. Sorry if we bored the shit, but we're all just having fun here. All right.